tried to be here in record time. Like, y'all don't know how I really tried to be here in record time. Good night, y'all. Welcome to my live tonight. I see that some of you were here before me. That is excellent. CM says, hold on, let me remove this from the screen. CM says, me alone reach early. No, CM. Other persons seem to have been here with you. Thank you so much for being early. Love you so much. CM says, gonna watch Corner Shop, then return. Okay, CM. Yvette B system too early. Listen, guys, I don't understand what I got through today. Like, I went through a whole phase today just to get to come here on time. My rush, I don't want to see how I drive bad, how I get drive bad on the road just for reach here in time, right? And I see that y'all were here before me, so that's awesome. But guess what? I'm not even gonna hold y'all any longer. We are going to get in the conversation. Good night, my NC gang. Thank you so much for those who are joining me tonight. I'm so happy to see you guys, and we are going to talk about big things tonight. We are going to talk about abuse in relationship. How does one deal with abuse in relationship? Hi, GM13 Empire. Good night. Welcome to the live tonight. It's so awesome to see you, my fellow YouTuber here. Guys, you can go on over to his channel to subscribe to his channel when you're done. He does have a lot of good content over there. CM says, good night, Blade. Commernant Candid. Hola. Good night. Late comer. Naturally. Oh! I apologize for that. You wouldn't even understand. I'm telling you, I say much my speed for reach here so on time, but whenever I reach too far off, I really wish I had gotten here on time, like on time. But you know, I went on the road. What's this? I went on the road. It so happened that I ended up running a little bit late because I had a few errands to do. Never got to reach on time, but guess what? I got here like a few minutes after. CM says dead with love. CM says at 9 p.m. I yell, I know, right? That's why I'm so upset. I was like, I want to honor my obligation to my YouTube subscribers. I mean, I can't let down my family, you know. But you know what? Better late than never. Alright, so we're going to talk about abuse tonight. I don't want to hold you long because, as you know, on Sundays, I know that y'all have to prepare for work on Monday. So let's just get right into a conversation. Now, this topic, how I came about this topic, let me just go ahead and share that with you, is that I really see a lot of persons walking around unhappy, and a lot of persons are in situations that they're not comfortable in. But because of what they've invested and the time they've invested in these people, and what they have been doing with these individuals, they feel like they have an obligation to stay. So we're going to talk about that. I see a question from CM that says, I was in a Facebook discussion about Silverson 2 and left to come here. Anyway, oh, listen, I'm so happy to hear that. What was the discussion about Silverson Estate 2? Let us have a conversation around that. I'm going to be doing an update about those developments that are coming out soon, and that is, I'm gonna be doing an update on the price. I won't be talking about that here, but I'll be doing a video coming this week talking about the update for those. I promised an update from the last video, so I'm gonna do that, post it this week, so you can look for it between Thursday and Friday. I'll be posting that video. CM says about, oh, it's too expensive for people, etc. Oh, definitely. The prices are very expensive because I see that it's 12 point something now, and it goes up from there, so it's definitely expensive. But if it is that people see that they can afford that, then who am I to say? I mean, it all goes down to our personal preferences, and when we look at the situations, we can certainly see that they're pricing these houses very high, and if you are purchasing them on your own, then you know for sure that it's gonna be a challenge. But you know, with Christ, all things are possible. This might not be yours, maybe the next one not be yours, but guess what? One will eventually be yours. So just go on all the faith, keep it in, and let's ride the waves, honey. We're in this together because I too believe the same thing. CM says, me no want a red dirt place. Hang out your clothes and whoosh! That's it. CM. CM, you're going to behave yourself tonight, you know. You're going to behave yourself tonight. And yes, where Silver Sun is located, it will be red dirt. So let me just go ahead and put that out there. It will be red dirt. I went, when Silver Sun phase 1 came out, I went up there, and that was one of the turn-offs for me, because I didn't want to park my car in the parking, the driveway, and then by the time I come out for go to work the next day, the car red up. That was one of the no-nos for me. But at the end of the day, there are persons who are still interested in that. If it's an investment property, then you can look into that as well. CM says, okay, gonna behave from now. CM, you have been an awesome individual, and just by talking to you on here, it feels like I know you, and I love your personality. You're so bubbly like myself. But yeah, so any other questions that you want to ask about those new housing developments, you can go ahead and share it in this live as well. But we're going to push on now with the topic, abuse in relationships. How does one deal with abuse in relationship? Like I was saying earlier, I came up with this topic just by observing. There was nobody who came to me and said, oh, I'm just going through all this stuff and blah blah blah. Nobody said that to me. I'm just observing, seeing that persons are very unhappy, especially now in COVID-19. A lot of persons are seeing a different side of their partners because they're stuck home, or they have been stuck home with these individuals over a period of months. So I am observing in my space where persons are uncomfortable. Some are afraid to share their journey. Some are very open about it, and some just don't talk about it. And that is why I think that it is the right space here to talk about that. So if you are going through that situation, you can just listen to the live and hear what other persons have to say about it. You don't necessarily have to share if you want to, but it would be really, really, really appreciated if you do share your opinion on this matter. But I know that it's a very sensitive issue for a lot of persons who are in the situation. But listen, that's why we're here. We're here to make each other feel a little bit more better and grounded. So if you are one of those persons going through this situation, it would be nice if you could share your experience with the rest of the community, because I can assure you that a lot of other persons are going through that same thing. All right, let me just check the chat really quick. Then I go into the conversation. So CM says, thanks. Yes, we both drive the same type of car. Me, the silver, yours, the blue. You see, I know that you're a girl of my own spirit, man. I know. We like the same things. Awesome. All right, so if you feel free, you can feel free to open up. This is naturally candid. You're not a girl, CM? Oh my apologies. CM, my apologies. My apologies. Okay, alright, CM, alright. GW13 says gender confusion. Can I tell? I don't know. Maybe it's because of the initials. CM says Christopher Masters from last week. Oh, but Christopher, did you share your name with me? No, you only had CM. So I just assumed it was a female. But you are a male of my own heart. So I know that we'll be spreading the joy around here. Well, I certainly made you laugh. Trust me, give me a good laugh just to know. Right, thank you so much for the correction, CM. Christopher Masters from last week. I'll be definitely looking out for you every single week. All right, I won't make that mistake again, I promise. I apologize. All right. CM says you're welcome. Yes, so I know that there are lots of persons who are in abusive situations, and when I speak about abuse, I'm not just talking about physical abuse, but I'm talking about emotional abuse. I'm talking about mental abuse. Mental and emotional would really go together, and then physical abuse would talk about yeah, physical would cover all of the outside appearance, beating someone, disturbing their peace and all of those things. So I'm not just talking about the physical aspect of abuse, but we're talking about abuse in its entirety, like all the possible ways in which you can abuse your partner being in a relationship. And verbal abuse seems to be coming out a lot, especially during this pandemic. People are saying a lot of unkind things to their partners, and remember that whatever comes out of your mouth, it can never be taken back. When you're upset is not the best time to talk, because you're gonna say stuff that are gonna really damage the partner or the person who you are along with. Very bad, very bad, such a bad idea. And what we need to understand is that once it is let out in the air, it can never be taken back, right? So once you say these things, they can never be returned or taken back. It will always be stuck or etched in the person's memory. And if you are looking forward to the type of relationship that you are in, if you're looking for that relationship to work, then you telling the person some unkind things will not help that situation. What that will do is in turn break your partner, and then you lose the relationship that you so desired to have, right? And during COVID-19, a lot of persons ended up breaking up, and then you sit and you wonder how them nice people here, when you look upon them did always look so cute together. They always did things together. When you observe them and you admire them, and you say, oh, could these persons break up? Like, what? Oh, when? What? Where? And you just feel like it's an obligation for you to know. But you see, when people are going through these things, it's best that we don't ask them what it is, because it's a very sensitive issue. And a lot of persons are experiencing abuse, unfortunately, but are afraid to share their stories. I don't know where we get that culture of silence from. Like, why people are silent about this. There are so many, you best believe that there are so many persons going through abusive situations, and because they feel like they need to have it, they need to be strong all the time, or they need to be grounded all the time, they don't share these stories. But I, for one, can tell you that unnaturally candid, we're not disrespectful over here. And if you need a little platform to share and just have a little light-hearted conversation about it, then you can go ahead and share that. Don't forget to hit like on the live, guys, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. But yes, back to the conversation. If you are one of those persons going through abusive situations, let's help our fellow community members. How do you go about coping in these situations? Because for me, I am not in those situations. So if I should tell you my perspective, then you'd hear it from a person who is not going through that, right? Maybe in the past, let me try and remember. I think in the past, maybe I would go through maybe a little one or two verbal abuse. And you best believe verbal abuse is very much hefty in your emotions, because it will let you question if you are enough for the person. It will let you question your whole being, your self-confidence. It will let you ask certain questions about yourself that you feel so closed and cluttered in your thoughts, right? Verbal abuse is very serious. I don't want anybody to overlook verbal abuse. It's not just physical abuse that is damaging people, but there's also verbal abuse that I think is even more pronounced than the physical abuse, right? When it comes to talking, the tongue, the Bible tells you about the tongue. The tongue is a deadly weapon. It can make you or it can break you. And for a lot of situations, physical abuse are come out of verbal abuse or verbal abusive situations. Cooking with Chelly says, yes, very serious topic, especially in the homes, right? It's very, 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 very serious, especially in the homes, as you said, Telly, and now in COVID-19. One thing I know about when persons are frustrated or end up in situations that them just really can't bother and them tired and stressed, is that them end up taking it out on somebody else. And in COVID-19, a lot of that is happening. A lot of persons are frustrated and stressed. A whole heap of people broke. When you're broke, you get all over the place, and your partner is always the first person you want to go vent. So I do know that even me, sometimes me say some really bad things, but dang, I feel so embarrassed sometimes. CM says, there's a Fox News post today. A 28-year-old man was found frozen to death in his car on the road outside his family's home. Maybe he got abused. I don't know. We wouldn't even know, because see, that's a 28-year-old man. It could also mean that somebody tried to rob him and it never turned out well, and then we lock him up in the car, or whichever way it is. But it definitely can be a result of abuse too. CM says his family didn't know he had been sleeping in his car. No, why would he there's a lot of questions around that situation, because why would he be sleeping in his car? Why would his family not know? Is the situation where runway, how it go, and that's a 28-year-old man, that's an adult. So he would have been responsible for his entire being. So that has a lot of questions there, but I thank you so much for that share. It goes to show that there's so many things happening in this world, and the human beings have a natural sense to interact with people. So imagine being in a COVID-19 pandemic where you see outside through your window and you can't go out there. You're outside estranged just because of a disease or a virus, right, as they would call it. But we have a natural knack to socialize. Can you imagine how frustrated many people are just for the fact that they have to stay inside, stay home? People who used to just go outside and go to the parties every weekend, them go dream weekends, and them dress up nice, and them take them picture and them look cute, or them have to stay inside. Now how them deal with that? That's why I keep on telling people, mental illness is not just saying that you're mad or you're sick in your head or something do you. Well, something do you, but it's not just that you're sick in your head or you get off. Mental illness comes with a lot of factors, and one of those can be inside cloaked up. You understand me? I was watching a documentary, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about the prison. Let me see if I can remember the name of the prison. It's located in San Francisco, and it is in the middle of the ocean, the middle of the sea. What's the name of the prison again? Alcatraz. Alcatraz, yes. Now, I remember for the prisoners who would have been locked up in Alcatraz would have been those prisoners who are the most extreme prisoners, the ones that do the most extreme crimes at the time. So they were transported to Alcatraz when they feel like they just weren't rehabilitating in the other correctional facilities. They took them to Alcatraz. No, Alcatraz is so locked off and it's secluded from everything. The only thing that is surrounding that place is water, and those prisoners felt like they were in prison. Of course, it did serve the need. It did what it was created to do. But you know how many prisoners turn madmen just because they were locked in a cell for however long. So that's what I'm just saying that to justify to you, to say that we have a natural need to socialize, and whenever we cannot socialize, we take it out in another arena, and it affects our mental capacity. Now I'm going to expound on that a little bit more, but I'm just taking a few comments out of the chat. So Cooking with Telly says, yes, and that can lead to suicide. Look at the cases of young children in high school who commit suicide because they were in quarantine and could not get out of the house. This happened in LA, and that's exactly where I am alluding to when I speak about the situation with Alcatraz. They killed themselves because they could not go outside. And though I know it sounds simple, but there are a lot of persons who, when they're home, they're going through so many cases of abuse. They're going through some of them all cases of abuse, right? And imagine being stuck in a situation where you're only going through abuse and you can't go outside. A lot of persons feel like the only hope is to just commit suicide and just end the whole drama. So cooking with Telly, that's exactly where I was going to. You just hit the nail on the head. A lot of persons are committing suicide because they're in quarantine and they can't go outside, and a lot of the cases that leads to the suicide is that they're experiencing abuse. And imagine being in a relationship and you're facing abuse. That's like turmoil. You're living in heat all the time. Your head just always fuming. Some of the persons who are being abused, sometimes them get so accustomed to being abused that they don't even feel the pain anymore. That's how bad some persons are going through it. And every time I talk about abuse, I keep remembering or replaying that Tina Turner movie in my head, and she endured it for so many years. For so many years, just out of the sake of what? Love. You can love somebody so much that you would sit in a position with this person to be abused. And listen guys, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm bashing them. I hope you don't get that from this, but I'm just trying to open a space for conversation to help you if you are going through that situation, right? So go ahead and share your thoughts. Let's just let it all out there, and just for 2021, we're not going to carry that situation into the rest of the year. All right, let me just take some more comments out of the chat. Guys, if you're just joining, thank you so much for being a part of the NC gang. Don't forget to hit the like, and if you don't subscribe yet to the channel, please to subscribe. We have these conversations every single Sunday at 9 p.m. If I am not able to fulfill my commitment, I will make a post about it. All right, but usually we have our lives every Sunday at 9 p.m. and we're always talking about interesting conversations and topics. If you also have some topics that you want me to talk about, then you can share it in the chat. All right, we have a lot to talk about tonight. Cooking with Telly says, I think it was 18 high schoolers who committed suicide during, you see there, a lot of persons have been committing suicide during the quarantine. The rates are exceeding the average amount, and it's just stress, right? CM says, yes, I am frustrated from COVID busting a March 2020. I hadn't played domino last week. Finally, I get to play. I'm gonna get 6 love twice because lack of practice. No, CM, I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm just laughing at the way you said it, because it just sounds so hilarious me reading it. Now I understand. So CM, now that you get the opportunity to play the dominoes, I'm sure that it reminded you of what things used to be like, but we have to be realistic. Will things go back to the way they usually were? I don't think so. I think this is a whole new level to life right now, and we just have to find a way to really fit in, or to really what's the word I'm looking for, to really evolve with the change. All right, Natisha, hi Natisha, welcome to the live tonight, honey. Late but I'm here. Thank you so much. Better late than never. Natisha says, interesting topic tonight. Yes, Natisha, we try to keep it interesting over here at all times. CM says, yes, it was nice to get out. Definitely. And I could have very well imagined how nice it would have been. When we look at relationships now, and we look at arguments happening in relationships, what do you do in a quarantine? Where you go? For some persons, I know that their way out of the argument, or to really get a sense of comfort in the chaos, is to just drive out the partner or walk out the partner and go somewhere, go chill, and then come back later on in the evening. Now, can you imagine during the quarantine you cannot do something like that, right? You can't do something like that. You and the partner end up arguing till it reaches into one big fight, and of course that is abuse. Now, do you think both men or women should be abused? Nobody should get abused in a relationship. That's not what a relationship is for. A relationship is to build you from point A to point B. It is not supposed to break you at any point in time. Nobody should abuse anybody. But then again, that's my opinion. There are persons who are of the opinion that if them partner don't lick them or beat them or say something bad to them don't feel worthy. Right? So it all goes down to your preference. But for me, I don't think that is something that should be done. It cannot be good for somebody to say bad things to you or to do bad things to you. That's not good. And I feel like why some persons are comfortable with something like that is because they've been in the situation so long that they get so accustomed to be treated that way. That's what I think happens. They're in the situation of abuse so long that they get so accustomed to being abused that they don't even realize that they're being abused. That can never be a situation that anybody would like to be in. CM says, yes, it was nice to get out. See that? CM, from COVID last year, me not get figure up on a date. Sure. But CM, you sound like you're a road runner. A date depend your mind. Me just want to go outside, go take a little breeze. Shelly's Corner. Hi Shelly, welcome back to tonight's live. Thank you so much for being here. Shelly says, hey, good night. CM says, good night, Shelly's. Pull up a chair. That's right. Pull up a chair over here, Shelly. Right. So, yeah. Some persons get so accustomed to being abused that they don't realize that they are being abused, and it's just so sad. And I watched it was a series last night. I think it was Sisters, and the young lady was so upset. This partner became her ex, and she became so upset at the partner because apparently her business credit card got run up, right? And I know this is a movie, but we can use them in like literal life to get a little message out there, right? So the person that she was talking to, he was broke, he didn't have money, and that became a challenge in the relationship because she owned her own business and she felt like she always had to be funding this relationship all the time. So that was very discouraging for her, and she decided to eventually discontinue the relationship with this person. Now, this young man was a good man, but he just was broke and he couldn't help himself at the time. And so she never cared about that. After a while, she just got so tired and frustrated with this individual that she just called the relationship quits. But let's get to the juicy part of it now. Then no, our business credit card was run up, and it so happened that her ex, whom she was talking to, was the person who the credit card statement said ran up her credit card. Now mark you, this is not the person who ran up the card. We never get to the series break before we could have figured out who was the person who did it, but he wasn't the person. He decided to leave her alone, move on with him life, and just, leave her, breeze her. So she decided to go to his workplace and really make a big scene right in front of her friend, and that was very embarrassing for the young man. That was very, very embarrassing. He started to cry. Yes, I do believe that men cry too. Sometimes they want to show it, sometimes they hide it, but he started to have tears in his eyes, and she literally took her hand and boxed him. She slapped him across his face, boom, and walk out proud. No, that was really what fueled my conversation tonight, along with my observation, because I want to know, is it okay for a woman when she's upset to slap a man and then a man to hit her back? Or should a man just take the slap and go on through and just understand so she's upset and just walk her out? Because we all know if a man should decide that, hey, them going to start with this abuse thing, then them know say, you understand? Let me see what, let me just go through some chats really quick just to catch up, because I see that some are coming in. Alicia Lindsay says, hello all. Hi Alicia, welcome back. Shelly Skarna says, laugh out loud. Okay, CM. Natisha says, I hope people are not in relationship with that mindset still. Hitting someone is not love, whether male or female. And we're going to get deeper into that. That cannot be love. Alisa says, love the topic. Always say no to any form of abuse. Definitely. But it's unfortunate that there are a lot of persons who are going through this. And just because of the clout, or just because they've built an entire life around each other, they're afraid to let go and start over. But I'm telling you this, start over from now, so you don't waste more years into that toxic relationship. All right. CM says, but Candid, you YouTubers seem to be having fun. You folks are still going all over Jamaica like normal, all river and food places, hotels, Mystic Mountain, etc. I watch JA YouTubers daily. CM, let me talk about that. CM. No, the thing about this now, going to these different places, they have a certain amount that they allow in for the day. So if you are able to make your spot in for that day, then you are one lucky YouTuber. So I guess that is why you see some YouTubers. Remember, the job must go on. The job must go on, whether through the pandemic or not. YouTubers still have to make them little food, especially those who are monetized. So you have to understand why they would want to vlog their little experience while having fun, because the job must go on. But for these places that they are going, though, they do have a limit as to how many persons they will accept for the day. So they are just in the lucky few that these places decided to accept for that day. Alright, so you still can have, but no, you can still have a little fun, but we all see what's happening, so we have to enjoy the time while it lasts. Guys who are just joining, thank you so much for joining Naturally Candid. Do not forget to hit the like, and if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, go and hit the subscription button and come right back. Alright, so Cooking with Telly says, no, it's never okay, never okay. Cooking with Telly also said, that opened the gateway for abuse to start, thus leading to emotional sabotage. Thank you so much for mentioning that. And let's talk about the gateway. Now, a lot of times we see these red flags as women. I don't know about the men. CMU can share from the male's perspective. But for women, a lot of times we see these red flags and we overlook the red flags, all in the name of love. Step in the name of love. Step in the name of love. But let me tell you something. Love is not all you need from a relationship, right? For me, I need stability more than I need love. I need love to combine with stability so that we can make a very powerful energy source. But our energy, what am I call it now? Form, not source, but form together, right? But if we see these red flags, usually they will happen over and over and over again. Usually they will continue the trend. The cycle will continue. It is for us to see these red flags and decide that, hey, enough is enough. If your partner ain't changing, honey, they ain't gonna change later on when you get married and have kids and have a family again. It's just not going to happen, right? And for us women, we just always end up in some emotional roller coasters and some emotional abuse and cycles that it's really bad. But I do know that men go through abusive situations too. So don't get me wrong. I am only speaking from the perspective that I can see with, that I can understand, because I'm a female. But for the men out there who are going through abuse, I don't know how this society silenced you, right? You can feel how you feel. It's okay for you to not feel okay in an abusive situation. And you can share that experience too, because whether you believe it or not, there are a lot of men that are going through abusive situations too. Alright? And what I noticed is a very common trait now is that a lot of persons who are going through abusive situations, they're shadowing it now, and they're saying, oh, I like it when him treat me so. Or I like it when she treat me so. Nothing go say no, nothing don't go so. usually no don't like it, but because they don't want to look pretty and I try to keep the image out there, and especially if you are a YouTuber and you have a YouTube channel with your partner. Ooh, a lot of them are just suffering in all of the pain and the trauma behind the camera. You understand me? So these are just some examples that I'm listing, not bashing anybody, but I'm just saying that there are a lot of persons going through abusive situations but are not talking, and they're putting on the facade like, ooh, everything is okay. That is not the case. And that brings me to the point that that's why we are not supposed to grudge anybody or feel in competition with anybody because we don't know what they're going through. Cooking with Telly says, and trauma, right? CM says, any woman ever try hit me is hospital. Our Marga family are go find her. Serious thing. But why do you say that, CM? Why aren't you one of those men who would just walk away from that situation instead of being in the tussle with her? Let me know. I really want to know the answer to that. I ended up in a discussion about that last night after watching the series with another man. And the gentleman made sure that he made it clear to me to say any woman will lick him, he might lick them back. Because him not gonna make she feel like so she can continuously lick him. Right? So let me know why you wouldn't just walk away from a situation instead of standing up to the person. Alright? Natisha says, it's not okay for anyone to lay their hand on their partner. Just because I'm a woman and upset at my partner doesn't give me the right. What happen if he should fire back? Worse him and big. Girl, you talk it like jokey. That's why me make sure to tell myself that me not going to eat any man. All if me angry, I rather shut my mouth and drive out. Because guess what? Men is just the reality. I mean, there are some exceptions, but it's the reality that men are stronger than women. We can labber right from morning till night. We can chat. We good. Women are known to talk. Right? We will trace, we will cuss, and we will slash you with the tongue. I mean cursing, for those who are probably thinking different. But we can cuss you with our mouth. But you see, when it comes on to eating, the man them we silent and plot out how them going to come for you. So you see, for me, I will not put my hand on a man. Before so, I take myself and I leave a relationship. Because I'm not going to sit in a relationship and wait till it becomes abusive before I leave. Once I see the signs, I'm going to go. But then again, that's my opinion. Let me know what y'all think. CM says, laugh out loud, Natisha. Exactly. Teacher Higgins says, yes, men do go through abuse. Yes, and them put on the facade like them, alright. But women, we have to be a little bit more sensitive with the men's emotions. Because really and truly, it seems to me that men go through an emotional crisis more than a female. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, correct me if you think different. But I won't close out your opinions. Let me know what y'all think about that. But that's just my personal opinion. Mainly because they don't talk about it, they feel it. Right? CM says police laugh after men who report abuse by their women, so men shy away from saying anything, and that is just the reality. The society that we're living in makes it feels as though men shouldn't say anything. They should be going through things and keep it to themselves. Wherever that came from, I don't know, but men go through things too and they're afraid to share it. So while I'm here being all feminist and stuff, I do understand that men go through these things, and that's why I don't even limit this platform to just women. I also welcome men to have conversations about these things. And how do you, this is another thing, how do you counsel or help a friend who is in an abusive situation? I would really love to know this, because should I ever end up with a friend that end up in a situation like this, I want to know how me can go about talking to this friend, because I know that this situation is very sensitive. and it can lead to a lot of things. So I would want to know how to prep myself to deal with these people. So if you guys have any suggestions about this, let me know in the comment section. Let's help each other to build each other. Guys who are just joining, thank you so much for joining the live tonight. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell. Also share out the live with your friends, let them come in and join the conversation. Like, wanna be selfish with this niceness for, right? Natisha says, a serious thing in a CM, some women feel like because they are pretty they can hit the man. Exactly. Can you imagine that pretty face taking a big box from the same man where you decide to put your hand on? Oh, that's how it'll come out, right? No, we have to think about these things, guys. We have to think about it. And I know that for me and a lot of you on here, it seems that we not gonna lick no man for the women. We not gonna hit the man because we afraid to take the lick, right? CM says, true, Natisha. CM also says, because me and a punk Candid me nah make her this me so. Alright. You come out strong though, CM. You come out mighty. Please to tell me what you mean by punk. Who is a punk? What you mean? Because I know that it's a Jamaican term to say that, oh, me and a punk, so me not make no one lick me and blah blah blah. But see, normally, you know, when men talk like this, you know, and the man them will talk like this and them lick out on certain things and them I go through it, you know. So let me know before I start for ask your questions in your business. Natisha says, I think they do because society has cultured men to be tough. Hence they suffer in silence. Exactly. Society cultured them to appear to be tough. But are they really tough? Are they really? They are not. As a matter of fact, they are more fragile beings than women when it comes down to emotions. And if you look at even the cycle of a breakup, women will face the reality from the get-go. We start the bawling, we start the trauma, we create excitement, and we're heartbroken for months. While the man them going like, oh, me alright, me move on good and nice without you, and me alright, yeah, life is good. And then we get over the trauma phase, then now we start go to the hate phase, until we just eventually get over the person. When we get over the person, now the men them start the phase backwards. So them start with the excitement and them show off and them go on and them move on first. Then them go to the vex and a ball over the woman phase. Then them go to the hate phase. I don't understand. It's always a opposite thing. But men do feel it, and I feel like they feel it more. And because of the culture of silence, they're not able to emote that type of language to anybody. CM says, serious thing. I am being frank tonight. I tell my female friends, not there with no police or soldier. Then when you get beaten, you come back to me. Listen, you talk that like joke. I always, let me just, like how you mentioned it now, let me just say that. I always say to myself, I do not want to be in a relationship. I don't wish to speak with a police officer nor a soldier. They have weapons, and not only the fact that they have weapons, but I look at the challenges that they face on a day-to-day basis, and the people who they deal with, the circumstances that they're ending up with. When them want to vent out them frustration and them want to let it go, and them don't have anybody to let it go upon, who you think them going to let it out upon? Who you think them going to let it out upon? Now must you the partner, because you are the close person towards them. So they're going to let out that on you, honey. Me make sure to tell myself, not trying to turn any of you against your partner if you are along with a police officer. But they are of course, as usual, exceptional beings, exceptional ones. But let us look at the realities of things. A lot of these persons are already grappling with what they have to deal with in the public. When them come home and they know forgot hear argument again, when you think gonna happen, the frustration will come out. So I always tell myself, no police or soldiers, because I don't want none of them abuse me and get away with it. No. We know all the systems stay that we're living in. Alright, so CM says, Me make sure to tell my friend that they with no police or soldier. Then when you get beaten, you come ball to me. Same, me better be there for all your friends regardless of the situations. Same also says that group has a reputation of beating them. Women who want vex can vex tonight, and that is true. I agree with you. I agree with you because where I came up with my notion about this police officer and soldier thing is for the same thing. When I watch the news, it's usually police decide so them are gonna shoot them woman and kill them, or them shoot. I never hear of a police female shooting her man because him cheat. I never hear that yet. But when a woman cheat on a police officer, I always hear say the police or the soldiers shoot them, kill them, or something. But listen, me make sure to tell myself say that is not an era that I will be going into, because the frustration, what drives abuse is frustration, the need to feel worthy, the need to feel powerful, the need to feel like you are over a particular person, that drives abuse. And whenever you are in certain professions, you always feel like you need to be in control or you need to feel powerful. So for those type of men, they always want to feel powerful over their partners. They want to always feel in control. So I know that, so me make sure me keep myself out of that. You understand? Because we see the news every day, and with the frustration on the road to come deal with you, you know how that go. CM says real talk tonight. Very much so, CM. Real talk every single Sunday night. Right? Natisha says sad but true. It's always the male who shot the woman, right? And shoot the woman, right? And you know what? You know what's funny? These are males who their friends cannot see them as that type of person. Because when they're going through the challenges inside of their heads, them can't say it to the other man because they don't want to look like a punk. Right? And this is what I'm talking about. Abuse stems from so many different arenas, and sometimes persons are going through abusive situations verbally. Us as females, us as women, we can verbally abuse men, and then it process in their heads over and over and over, because men are generally persons who do not talk about what is bothering them. So when we talk out of our nice mouth, we talk certain things to these men, it keeps on processing and replaying back in their heads, and they're not expressing that to you, because what? If they talk, then they're deemed as a fool, or a punk, or an idiot. You understand me? So a lot of men, they process these things to themselves, and then they go ahead now, and when them cup overflow, they act upon it. So abuse can also come from us women. We can make the men's life a living hell, and that's just the reality. We were created to be there for men. So can you imagine if we're throwing them off, we're making them off balance? Not saying that it's not vice versa. Of course it's vice versa. But we have a significant impact on a man's life, whether they want to admit it or not. You understand? We can make misery turn strength for a man. Guys who are just joining the live, thank you so much for coming. Don't forget to hit the like on the live, and if you not subscribe yet, go on go subscribe and come back. All right? Yes, so we can make a man's life a living hell, and we have that power to really make them go up the roof and come right back. So we can abuse men too. So I'm not just only talking on the basis that men abuse women, but women abuse men too. And we are very well known for verbal abuse. And for me, verbal abuse is something that cannot be replaced. You can't fix it, because once it comes out of your mouth, the damage is already done. So even if the person get over the situation and them move on from the situation, some scar are gonna still leave back to show that, hey, this wound was already created. The scar is going to remain. And guess what? Oftentimes you hear about that same situation come up in follow-up arguments. That happened to me already, right? You hear about that same something there where maybe you're upset and you're in an argument with your partner. You say, John, come and I like you. And that's why I see, and that's why I forgot to talk to somebody else. You know, them something they staying in a people mind, right? Natisha says, scenario, him get verbal abuse at work, but his workmates, civilians, abuse them. Then they come home to a house of more verbal abuse. Of course, them are gonna lose it. Of course. And that's what I'm saying. Knowing the situations that the police officers and the soldiers are going through, you can understand very well why some of them end up being so ruthless, right? Not saying that it's okay, but I am trying to get this out there to say that abuse is something that is very serious. It's very serious and it's very overlooked, and abuse come in many forms, right? And raising the awareness to people to let them know that, hey, this is abuse. Nobody not supposed to talk to you any certain type of way, and it's okay. No, that's abuse. And I maybe a lot of persons don't know that it's abuse, because I refuse to believe that people know that these things are abuse and they still stick to it, right? CM says, "Me not commit suicide over no woman. A friend of mine found out his woman that does days work was sleeping with the Norbuk man who was house she was working at, and him kill himself, kiss my teeth." And you know what, CM? You know, people go through different things and they handle situations differently. You know, never say never. You never know if the right woman might come and mash up your mate certain way. Never say never. Because one thing I know for sure is when people are going through pain, like never ending pain, like the pain with them feel like just not stopping, like it's just constant and consistently there. Some of the times, oftentimes, the first thought that comes to mind would have been a suicidal thought. So you can't say never, because there's always that one person will just know over turn up strong in your head for Mario, right? I don't know why I say it like that, but it's the reality. There's always that one person who can pluck your corn a certain type of way. Like all the time, that one person will be able to pluck your corn. So never say never, see him. We never know. You don't know what your friend was going through. He was just basically fighting through silent battles that he really never shared with you, right? And that's why I always, when I'm praying, I always pray for my friends who are fighting silent battles, because there will be battles that your friends are going through or your close associates are going through that they will just not share with you. In the time of crisis and pain, you really don't want to talk to nobody, you know. You really don't want to talk to nobody, especially when you know that it's a situation that will let them have something over your head. Not everybody want to talk about these things. So I always make sure that when I am praying for me, I pray for my friends who are fighting silent battles, right? Hi guys, we're just joining the live. Thank you so much for joining Naturally Candid. We are talking about how to deal with abuse in relationship. Please to share so we can know how to really advise our friends to manage abuse in a relationship. And we are saying that abuse don't come in one form, abuse comes in many forms. Let us create this awareness for persons who are going through abusive situations. I'm going to take some comments at this time, so let me just go over to the comment section really quick. And oh, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell. So Natisha says, CM, that's sad. Natisha, it's really sad, but it's the reality, right? True. Look on Samson. History has proven the Bible not to be all biblical, but women has shown to break men. There's nothing new under the sun. Hence, we have to be wise and pray for direction before entering a relationship. That is very true. Samson was a living example. I'm glad you mentioned him. And I know not to be biblical because some persons are not biblical, but these are realities that happened before, right? And we certainly are seeing those realities happening now. But Delilah was able to trick Samson and cut off him ear and make him lose his strength. And we all know the story about Samson, right? And he lost his power, he lost his strength. But you see, women can be good to men and women can be bad to men, and vice versa. But women have a special power that can really push a man to do good or push a man to do bad. So we know in ourselves that we have this power. We need to uplift the men and uplift each other as well. And when we see we're friend go through a situation, we're not going to beat them down and kill them over it. We're going to encourage them in that situation, right? But women can make men do a lot of things. Let me tell you, a lot of abuse are for some women who are going through abuse, it could have been avoided. But for some of us, we don't know when to stop. We don't know when to shut up. We don't know when to cease and desist from talking, right? And we push the men to the point where they are out of control and they don't even remember that you're their woman, right? And I believe that that is also one of the triggers for abuse in relationships. So I'm not saying that it's entirely the reason, but it's one of the triggers for abuse. Sometimes we talk and push these men to hurt us. Sometimes we do it because we feel like I am mighty, because we can talk all of the things them out of our nice mouths, right? And the man can't do nothing until when them finally take up them hand and flow away. Not saying that it's okay, but I'm just saying that these are some of the realities. Now, if a man lick me one time, you best believe him not gonna get two for do it. Him not gonna get 2 times for do it. From me get a first lick, me afraid a lick. From me a pick me a run from lick, me afraid a lick. So why would I sit in a situation to make a man beat me over and over and over again? It can't be right. Anything will go bruise and batter bruise my skin, or show any kind of something on my skin, any kind of scar on my skin, that can't be something good. Because my skin never make for sure scar, I will not stay in a situation like this. So I don't understand why there are some persons who are very much comfortable with this. Getting a black eye every day, getting a busted or a forehead lick or some kicks. I saw something circulating on the internet the other day with this young man. Well, I don't know if he's young or if she's young, but this I don't know if they were even a couple. But this person intended to fight a woman. He was slim and she had on a lot of weight. She was thick. And he literally over the woman beat her up. And guess what? The woman, the one thing a weaken this man. And what she did was to pull his pants down and beat him on his private area. And that mashed him up the whole time. She beat him down. Give him some lick. She nearly killed the man. But I'm just saying that to say this. That cannot be okay. That's abuse. It can't be okay. You calling your partner jankro, dirty shit, dirty dog, good for nothing. It's not okay. And let me tell you, this happens if your partner keeps doing it to you. Then the obvious reaction would have been to tell them back bad things. Because let me tell you about me. Anybody tell me bad things, me I tell them back. And now me I get better. Now is when the situation is improving. Where people literally are saying stuff and me just make it blow over my head. But once upon a time, the old Shannon, when they tell me something, I just... Anybody tell me bad things, me I tell them back. Right? Guys who are just joining the live, thank you so much. Please hit like on this live. It's very good for the algorithm. And if you never subscribe to my channel, go on and subscribe now and come back. Alright, so let me just check some of the comments really quick because I don't want to miss anybody. Everybody on the air knows that I always want to check the comments so we can make sure that we keep this conversation going. Alright, so CM says, hold on there. My last comment not showing. I don't know what happened, CM. Check it again. Natisha says, at CM, if your word's too long, it won't show. Break it into 2. That's something new. I never knew that. So you heard that, CM, if your word's too long, it won't show. CM says, I made another suicide reference, but it not show in the chat. I wonder if YouTube not like that word. I don't know. Natisha says, CM says, Natisha, it was shorter than my other comment. Try sending it again and see. Try sending that comment again and see if YouTube will send it over to us. Natisha says, listen to me. From the hand go up, I'm leaving. Not waiting for it to come down. Miss Seg, listen. Listen. From the hand, from me even see the hand like it want move little too high. And the conversation I get too heated. I'm gone. I not even realize that me gone. Yes, girl, and sometimes when you're in tiger mode, you have to take time and draw it out. A lot of us women like to feel like we're big and subolious and also powerful. And we say, oh, when me want to leave, me leave. In a conversation, in a heated argument with this man and take up but we leave. A mad we mad so? No. Me not make that happen. Me I wait till the calm down come. Because when persons are heated, them not no sense. I can talk for myself. So when me upset, me not have no sense. When me upset, anything come out my mouth talk. That's why I not like talk when me vex. Because I know that person say anything when you talk when you're upset, I saw it go, I saw you feel. I saw you feel in the moment. But that don't necessarily mean that's how you feel all the time. And that is the message it is sending when you are upset and you say a certain abusive word or in an abusive tone. Then you are sending a message to your partner that this is how you feel about them all the time. So me make sure say when I am upset, me shut my mouth. I'm going to shut my mouth because I know so what will come out of it is not going to be nice. So I try to make sure that when I'm upset, because we can end up talking until it becomes abuse. We say you say things we're at, me say back things we're at, you say other things, me say other things, and we'll start the fist fight. So as if the verbal abuse wasn't enough. So I'm just saying this to say that, guys, abuse is a real, and we all must face the reality that it happens, and we must be in support of persons around us who are going through these things. Natisha says, CM strange. It really strange for true, Natisha. CM also says, what? Candid, you never make people dry your tongue. Listen, CM, I learn now. I'm learning. CM says, in relation to what you said about answering back heatedly, CM says, I never know say Candid was a hothead. This chat is interesting. She looks so angelic. Dead would laugh. Really? I gave you that impression. Ain't nobody angelic around here. We all have a bad side to us. I don't care what anybody wants to tell me, but I know that we all have a bad side to us despite what people shows you on the media. But yeah, when people draw me out, I'm a nice girl, you know. I'm nice. But when people draw me out, I don't like it. I'm uncomfortable when people draw me out. Natisha said, Natisha, you never keep up with the foolishness with CM, you know. Right? But we all have a bad side to us that if you get the impression that I am angelic, mama make sure to take it out of your mind from now. So that if you bump up in a me and somebody gets into it, you know say, I have a bad side to me too. Alright? Because I'm not going to come up here and pretend like I'm angel. No. We all have a bad side. CM says, haha, yes. Story come to bump. Yes, CM, I'm not going to tell any lie. So I'm telling the truth. Alright. Anyways, guys, me gonna wrap up tonight and just close by saying this. When it comes on to abuse, it is not okay. If you are somebody who is going through abuse, please to report it. I know that sometimes the police are not there for you to support, but at least try to report it. Tell your friends, tell people around you so they know. Come out of the situation as fast as you can. And how you will be able to do this is by sharing with somebody who you trust and let the person help you to get out of that situation. Do not stay into an abusive situation sitting and waiting for it to get better, because the reality of it is it will not get better. It will not get better. It will only get worse. So make sure that when you see signs of abuse taking place, you go seek help. That's the first thing. Tell your friend, tell people around you so that they are aware of this, right? Because a lot of time your friends can help you, or the people around you can help you. Do not stay in an abusive situation. Don't even think about it. Don't stay in it and sit down and wait for it to happen and unravel itself and wait for the person to change. Because if them continue eating you, honey, them will get used to hitting you. Or if they continue to verbally abuse you, them will get used to verbally abusing you. You have to put a stoppage to it. Don't let it slide. If it happened the first time, then make it slide. Because the moment you make it slide, it's going to continue to happen. If it means that you have to leave the situation, then you just have to leave. And you just have to call it quits with the person. Because what's the sense of you staying into a situation where you are abusing your partner and your partner is abusing you in return? That don't spell sense. So when it really gets frustrating and it really gets tiring and you really feel like you cannot go anymore, don't even try another second on it. That is your mind telling you to get out, get out, get out, get out. Stop waste time and get out. Abuse is not for anybody at all. It's not okay, right? So I'm going to close by saying that for those who think it's okay and who is in agreement with abuse, to say that, oh, me like when my man lick me, or me like when this happen, lie or not tell. Alright? Una don't like it, but una get used to it. So let us not accept that type of treatment. Alright? Let me read the comments before I go. CM says, my love her. No, my love your honesty. Of course, I can't be nothing but honest. Natisha said, gather evidence, so can I tell you? CM says, Lifetime movies, enough abuse story, and they're real. CM says, some women say them no want no man they can walk over, so them love the beatings. It seems it's not that we're saying that we love the beatings and I don't want a man when me can walk over easily. I don't feel like I'll be led by a person who I can literally walk over easily. But at the end of the day, I am not saying that I want a man to abuse me. That's different. Wanting a man to lead is completely different from abuse, right? A man's role is to lead, not to abuse. Two different things. So I believe that when some women say them don't want to walk over, is that they don't want any man too soft, but them have to be leading the man, but they want the man to lead them. So that's what I think comes from that statement. But like I said, some women can use that as a little way to say, oh, them like the beatings. Alright, good night, lovelies. Good night, Alicia. So I'm going to close there for tonight. CM says, so you say a one box now and then it's okay. Can you mad? One box where? Where? You take your one box, go somewhere else, not over here, right? And not with my Candid family either, right? So thank you so much, CM. You have been a gem. And my other NC gangers, y'all are so awesome. I love you all. And guess what? Mega sign out here for tonight. Don't forget to hit the like on the live. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Hit that notification bell so you can know when I post, and share with your friends. Come join in on the conversation every Sunday. And for that, now I'm gonna say bye. Thank you, CM. Bye, guys.